Right now at 5, the troubling 911 call that led to the arrest of a school van driver police say was drunk behind the wheel, and what a judge decided about her case today.
Plus, local reaction after President Biden suggested Trump supporters are garbage. The impact Senator Reid thinks it'll have on the election.
And back to business for RIPTA buses that use the historic East Side Tunnel. We'll take a look at $25 million worth of improvements.
This is Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC 6 News at 5.
First at 5, we are tracking breaking news out of Providence. Guilty. That's the verdict for Sean Mann, the second man involved in the killing of Maya Brophy Bierman in Providence. Mann was not the trigger man, but he was in the vehicle when shots were fired at Brophy Bierman. According to Providence police, it was a tragic case of mistaken identity. Mann and the shooter, Isaiah Pinkerton, thought Brophy Bierman's boyfriend was a rival gang member. In January, Pinkerton was given 2 life sentences.
And Providence police are investigating a shots fired call on Devonshire Street. Chief Perez tells us police have not found any victims at this time. Detectives are investigating as we speak, and as we learn any additional information, we'll of course keep you updated both on air and online.
Now to an ABC 6 News follow-up at 5. We are now hearing from Rhode Island's Attorney General about his decision not to bring charges after looking into the education contract awarded by the McKee administration to a newly formed company with ties to the governor. Thanks for joining us. I'm John DeLuca.
And I'm Caitlin Gelhaus. That multi-million-dollar contract led to a years-long investigation into whether multiple laws were broken. And ABC 6 News reporter Ryan Medeiros joins us here live in the newsroom with those details. Ryan?
John, Caitlin, the state attorney general will not bring any charges after investigating Governor McKee's multi-million-dollar education deal with the ILO Group. The investigation focused on how a $5.2 million education contract was awarded by the governor's office and whether another lower bidder was overlooked due to ILO's leadership's ties to the governor.
The public demands answers, and where we can give them to them fairly, then we should do it. And I think that builds confidence, not only in this office as a fair arbiter of issues like this, but builds confidence in government generally. And I think we should do it, and that's why we did it here.
The Attorney General says the governor did steer the contract to ILO against the findings of a state review team, but added there is no evidence to justify a prosecution. In a statement, Governor McKee saying in part, "No wrongdoing took place and our priority has and always will be delivering for the people of Rhode Island. It's unfortunate that so much time and taxpayer dollars were wasted on an effort that was always going to come up empty." Now, state Republicans are criticizing the AG's decision, with state GOP Chair Joe Powers saying it demonstrates why the state needs an independent inspector general. In the newsroom, I'm Ryan Medeiros, ABC 6 News.
Ryan, thank you. Developing at 5, a body was found this morning in Cranston right off of a bike path. According to Cranston police, the body of a man was found off the Washington bike path near Tong Pond. Police have not said whether it's suspicious at this point. They're waiting to hear back from the medical examiner's office about a cause of death. We'll continue to update you on this story as we learn more.
And new tonight at 5, 4 people are out of a home and a dog is dead after a fire in North Providence this morning. Firefighters responding to the home on DeJulio Drive around 8:30. The fire chief tells us crews were met with heavy flames and smoke at the back of the house. 2 firefighters were hurt.
2 of our firefighters were injured, minor burns. They're being checked out at the hospital. They'll be released today and probably return to work.
Now the Red Cross is helping 2 adults and 2 children. The cause of this fire does remain under investigation.
A school bus driver in court today after being arrested for driving drunk with students on board. According to the Massachusetts State Police, 34-year-old Rebecca Shing was arrested on Tuesday afternoon. Troopers say she was driving erratically on Route 140 in New Bedford. 4 children and an 18-year-old were on board a minivan with school bus plates. Shing now charged with OUI and 4 counts of child endangerment. Prosecutors say she blew a .15 on a breathalyzer test and admitted to taking Suboxone earlier in the day. She was given $1,000 bail.
All right, now let's get a check on the forecast. Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Benson joining us live in the Weather Center. Jeff, I hope you have a light and airy Halloween costume, and I hope Luca does at home too, because it's going to be hot, right?
Well, I'm going to give you a little hint of what my Halloween costume is, but you might not be able to see me at all, Caitlin. So that constitutes what? I'd say pretty light Halloween costume this year. I'm not wearing a Cookie Monster or a Chewbacca or anything like that, but if you are you're going to want to hydrate extra tomorrow. And we're getting a taste of what is going to be very likely the second warmest Halloween on record out there today. Look at these temperature changes over the last 24 hours. So this is as of 5 o'clock yesterday evening. We're 17 degrees warmer in Smithfield, 13 degrees warmer in Providence. We were actually a little bit higher than this last hour just because of the warmer air that started coming in last night. So the bigger differences were between, say, midday, early afternoon yesterday and midday, early afternoon today. But needless to say, when you're talking about pushing 20 degrees warmer from one day to the next, it's pretty balmy out there. We have come down a little bit. We did hit 70 for much of the region today, especially further away from the shoreline. Temperatures right now, a pair of 6s at Providence TF Green, North Kingstown at 68, 64 New Bedford, 63 Newport, still in the 70s though, up across central Mass and northern Connecticut. The reason for this, not the wind speed. Look at those arrows, though. They're coming out of the south, southwest, and they're going to continue veering towards the west. And that brings us again towards what is likely going to be our second warmest Halloween ever. Providence records go back to 1905. So this is not a small sample size here. So this is a pretty impressive stat that we're throwing out there for you. As we look at our other headlines, a few drips and drops on Friday, but we continue to see a very dry pattern as we head into November. That fall chill is coming back for the first weekend of November. And if you're not sure what the last headline is, watch your weekend wake up. I'm taking a page out of Christina here using the alliteration. Stay tuned for our full weather, and we'll tell you all about it. John and, sorry, Caitlin, back to you.
That's okay. Thanks, Jeff. We love the alliteration. It's great. Now to commuter news at 5:30. RIPTA making a big announcement today. The historic East Side Tunnel in Providence is officially reopening for bus service tomorrow. The East Side Tunnel on North Main Street will officially be reopening for RIPTA bus service Thursday.
It really helps us kind of navigate the hills and the steep inclines, and it also gives us, this is one of the few dedicated right-of-ways where only RIPTA can go through.
This project mainly focusing on improving drainage, lighting, and structural integrity of the tunnel, as well as the restoration of the 110-year-old bus shelter.
I think about my first experiences riding the bus when I would ride on Route 42 down Hope Street and come through the tunnel. It was much darker then. It wasn't well lit.
With this reopening, detours that have been in place since March will be lifted, and all affected bus routes, routes 1, 32, 33, 34, 40, and 61X will return to their regular route through the tunnel.
The restoration project not only enhances the tunnel's structure and bus services, but it also recognizes the historic history of this area.
The tunnel, originally built in 1914 to support the city's former trolley system, connects downtown Providence to the east side and beyond.
This 100-year-old piece of infrastructure is still able to serve us today and really creates kind of the bones of an effective transit system, as long as we choose to maintain it and update it, that is really unique throughout the country.
Now all temporary bus stops will be removed so riders can board at their regular bus stop. More than $8 million in federal money was put toward the $25 million project.
Your Voice, Your Vote 2024. Rhode Island residents who haven't already registered to vote have one more chance to vote for president. Election officials are reminding residents about the state's same-day registration law. If you are eligible to vote and you have lived in Rhode Island since October 6th, you can register at specific polling locations and cast a ballot for president on election day, just president. In most areas, those locations are at city or town halls. We have more information for you if you're looking for it on our website. Just go to abc6.com. We are now less than a week until the presidential election.
And both candidates today are crisscrossing the country, each holding multiple rallies in battleground states. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest.
Today, both former President Trump and Vice President Harris are trying to win over the precious few undecided voters in battleground states. Both candidates today in Wisconsin and North Carolina. Harris also hitting Pennsylvania in the final sprint.
Because we have just 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and we have work to do.
The Trump campaign today is seizing on President Biden's comments last night. Biden reacted to an insult made at Trump's rally over the weekend when a comedian called Puerto Rico an island of garbage.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
The White House categorized the backlash as a misunderstanding as President Biden tries clarifying that he was referring to the comedian by writing on social media, his demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. Harris was asked about Biden's comments today by ABC's Mary Bruce.
What did you think when you heard President Biden make those comments?
Well, first of all, I think that the president has explained what he meant, but I've said it earlier. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. And
Trump has repeatedly gone after voters who support Harris and has hurled personal attacks against her intelligence, including today while fundraising off Biden's comment.
My supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans.
Last night, Trump told Fox News the comedian probably shouldn't have been at the weekend event. He previously called the rally itself a love fest. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, reaction continues to pour in after the president's comments criticizing supporters of Donald Trump. Spokesperson for the Rhode Island Republican Party says President Biden's latest insult is just another in a long line of name-calling and compared it to Hillary Clinton's basket of deplorables comment back in 2016. Now, earlier today, we caught up with Senator Reid to ask what he thought about the president's remarks.
President Biden is not on the ticket. Vice President Harris is. She made it clear she does not agree with that insinuating based on one's political party, a mischaracterization is not appropriate.
And once again, as we saw in Christiane Cordero's reporting, the president later posting on social media trying to clarify that he was referring to the rhetoric at that weekend rally at Madison Square Garden and not Trump's supporters themselves. Again, Vice President Harris telling reporters today she strongly disagrees with any criticism of people based on who they vote for.
Coming up on ABC6 News at 5, a terrifying encounter for some voters in Florida now has a teenager facing some very serious charges.
And what police say led an elderly man to try and kill his wife several times. You're watching ABC6, Southern New England's trusted news source.
URI football is on MeTV Saturday, November 2nd. Your nationally ranked Rhody Rams look to keep on rolling as they take on the Monmouth Hawks live at Meade Stadium. URI versus Monmouth live Saturday at 1 p.m. on MeTV. For tickets, call 401-874-RAMS or visit GoRhody.com/tickets.
It's not a small check. It's
appropriate. That's why you should take the check now.
It's a text from DeOliveira and Associates.
Call DeOliveira and Associates on the Hurt line right now.
ABC Election Night.
when we fight, we win!
We will soon be a great nation again.
Who will be your next president? Election Night. This is where America turns for answers. ABC Election Night Live.
Here we go. They're following us.
This is awesome.
Idiot. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Get 3.39% financing on the 2025 Rogue Rock Creek or get a low $289 per month lease on the 2024 Rogue.
At Mobility Equipment Recyclers, we believe that your disabilities don't define you, but we know they can make everyday life challenging. We empower freedom of movement with quality mobility services, refurbished equipment and replacement parts at a fraction of the usual cost. We're not only helping you live life to the fullest, but also protecting the environment. We are your one-stop shop for all your mobility needs.
2944111 Mobility Equipment Recyclers.
It's time to declutter, organize, and protect with a complete garage makeover from DeStefano Brothers Concrete Coatings. Imagine your new, beautiful, durable, and easy-to-clean garage floor that will give you additional usable space.
It definitely makes a huge difference.
And DeStefano Brothers makes organization simple with custom-designed storage systems. From cabinets to overhead storage, you'll get the space you need. Take advantage of 0% interest financing for 2 years. Call DeStefano Brothers and schedule your free consultation now.
You want a law firm that won't put up with the insurance company's games, delays, or lowball offers? Call a law firm with the experience and resources to get you all the money you deserve. Call DeOliveira and Associates on the Hurt line right now.
Download the Now Local News app today and upload your pics and videos. You could see your very own story on the air and earn points towards rewards and gift cards.
National news now at 5. A 93-year-old Florida man is behind bars accused of trying to kill his wife twice. The most recent attack happened at the couple's home on Saturday. Helmut Lochner's wife told police they were watching TV on the couch when he put a rope around her neck. A few weeks earlier, she said her husband tried to smother her with a pillow. Now, according to deputies, Lochner knows he's dying and didn't want to leave his wife behind. He's facing 2 counts of attempted murder.
And a Florida man is accused of brandishing a machete at an early voting site. Now, authorities say 18-year-old Caleb Williams waved the machete at 2 women. Police say the man was part of a small group of teenagers who showed up Tuesday afternoon to intimidate voters and confronted a nearby group of people holding Harris Wall signs. Now, no one was hurt. Williams is now charged with aggravated assault on an elderly person. The suspect in a murder at a luxury resort on Long Island is dead. Suffolk police say a resort staff member discovered 33-year-old Sabina Roses of Brooklyn dead in a guest room on Monday. Detectives investigating the death quickly identified her boyfriend, 56-year-old Thomas Gannon, as a suspect after he was seen leaving the resort earlier in the day without her. Now, Gannon was eventually tracked to his home in Pennsylvania, where he was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Rosa's cause of death has not yet been released.
ABC 6 Weather with Jeff Benson. Brought to you by the Preserve Sporting Club and Resort.
Welcome inside the Weather Center, everyone. Let's get a quick check outside right now. Looking over the State House on what is a gorgeous evening, pair of 6s for Providence right now. Dry air for the most part, winds out of the south at 9 miles per hour. And we will continue to see warmer weather spilling into the northeast. You can see it's a little chilly up towards Maine right now at 52 in Bangor, 68 in Burlington, but the 70s are not far away. Philly, 75. Richmond on the doorstep of 80 degrees, and you can see some 80s right now from Chicago down to Louisville, Nashville included in that as well, 79 in Atlanta. And that's all headed in this direction, and it is just in time for Halloween. We told you earlier, likely the second warmest Halloween on record, going all the way back to 1905. 2024 will likely end up there, 83 degrees. That is likely to not get challenged unless we really, really overachieve. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 80, 81. I don't think we're going to overachieve by that much. But anyway you slice it, it's a balmy one. 79 degrees. Our high temperatures generally at this time of year hit around, say, 2 o'clock on average. Could be as early as 1, could be as late as 3, depending on other atmospheric factors. But we will even still be quite mild as we head into the late afternoon and early evening peak trick-or-treating hours. So again, extra water tomorrow, especially if you have a costume that doesn't get good ventilation. You are going to need it. There's that warm front that came through last night. It brought us very little in the way of precipitation. We'll show you how much coming up. Only a couple of hundredths of an inch, not impressive whatsoever. So our relatively dry pattern continues here and is expected to continue doing that as we head into the first week of November. Here's the warm air mass again around that big area of high pressure situated off the Carolina coastline there. Now we do have a pretty dynamic set of fronts off to the Midwest right now. Some strong thunderstorms blossoming down along the plains portion of that, along this cold front right here. And that's all going to be pushing this way, and eventually the warm air gets squeezed out by that cold front passing, and it turns much, much chillier right on schedule as we head into the new month for the upcoming weekend. So we will be dry with a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. Great day for Halloween. Wow. We're going to be wearing shorts out there, Mom and Dad. If you're not costumed up, you're probably going to not be wearing your sweatshirt or your hoodie, or dare I even say your jacket, as we have in recent Halloweens not that far in the past. Another warm day on Friday because the cold air with this front, even though it's moving through in the morning and we get a quick little light shower out of that, probably through about midday, and then I think we start to see the sun by the afternoon. That colder air doesn't catch up until Friday night and into Saturday. Well, we will talking about a 20-degree temperature difference. Big snap here. Look at this. Roller coasters aplenty. We've been up for the most part, but we've had some pretty big downs here over the last couple of weeks. We get a big down this weekend, we then start trending back up, and there's a chance that we'll be right near 70 degrees by the middle of next week. This is just the pattern that we are locked in with these big temperature swings. But again, it has far and away been on the warmer side more often than not. Tonight, 54 degrees, not nearly as chilly as the last couple of nights. Call it a pretty warm night for late October. We should be typically down in the 40s. And we're going to be seeing overnight temperatures Friday morning. How about 62? And that is interesting because that is warmer than our typical daytimes would be. But again, a big chill coming up this weekend. Some frost possible on Sunday morning as, the clocks will be changing. So we will be seeing much, much earlier sunsets next week, 4:30-ish. Don't like that.
That's kind of depressing, Jeff.
4:37 on Sunday, but that'll turn to 4:36, 4:35, 4:34.
That is ish.
And so on and so forth.
And what a drop, too. 20-degree jump, 75, 55.
I got to say,
55, Saturday, Sunday.
As much as I love this warmer weather, my body is like, what's going on? I mean, last week when we had that one big drop and then we started getting warm again this week, my body seemed very confused at times.
It is
a little
unusual.
verklempt, But it certainly can be. We're creatures of habits. Our bodies are creatures of habits. Circadian rhythm and all that things, but temperature plays a big role in that too, and can get a little confused sometimes.
It is confusing. My summer clothes are already packed away, so this is kind of annoying. I mean, I know it's only like a 2-day thing, but still.
Yeah, isn't it weird? I heard it last week when it was 81. I heard a couple of hums of the ACs across the neighborhood. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that again tomorrow for those that somehow still have them in.
Yeah, well, speaking of those warm temperatures now, it's time for a question of the day. Where's the best local farm to go pumpkin picking with this beautiful weather? Adams Farm in Cumberland, Jaswell's Farm in Smithfield, Morris Farm in Warwick, or Salisbury Farm in Johnston. You could scan that QR code that's on your screen right now to vote. We'd love to hear from you.
Still to come on ABC6 News at 5. Good news for people who are currently looking for a job.
And Starbucks says it's getting ready to dump one of its more questionable menu items. How much longer you have before it's officially gone?
Watch Good Morning Providence, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
Do you or someone you know need help with Medicare? Then this message is for you.
Hi Rhode Island seniors, Medicare Joe here again, and this year more than ever it is important that you review your Medicare coverage. A lot of changes are happening to the Medicare plans for 2025, particularly around the drug coverage. Our team here has helped thousands of folks make sure that they have the right Medicare coverage for the new year. Give us a call, speak with one of our licensed agents. Let's make sure you have the right coverage for the new year as well.
Hello again, I'm Frank Coletta, and I'm with Josh Wells of the Retirement Factory with some expert financial advice. Now, Josh, I don't know if this is the case for you since you are in the business, but the most common question I hear amongst my friends and family when it comes to retirement is, how much do I need to retire?
The biggest question that we're asked is, how much do I need to retire? The answer should be found within your customized written income report, which is based on your lifestyle, the last 3 years of your earnings, and how much money you've saved in your 401k, IRA, and stock accounts. Now, this information factors into something called a retirement income ratio, which, depending on your lifestyle needs, would be broken down into a 3-3-10 or a 5-5-20 ratio. Now, I know that sounds like a ton, but when you see it on paper, it makes a lot of sense.
So it sounds like you are saying there is a magic number for people. It's just not the same for everyone. So how do you know where to begin?
If you're interested in finding out how much money you need to retire, we'd be happy to put together a customized written income report for you as well. The information's on the screen. Call us, text us, email us, or stop on by.
So remember, you can contact the Retirement Factory anytime for any kind of information you want and for your customized written income report. Just text report or call us at the information on the screen. And thanks for joining us.
See you soon.
Delivering for Rhode Island, that's what it's all about. That's why I'm so proud Gabe Amo's working for us. He grew up in Pawtucket, served in the White House, and was just elected to Congress. He hit the ground running, taking on issues that matter to you. He knows how to bring people together to get things done, and that's critical. Gabe Amo has the experience Rhode Island needs now, and I'm proud to support him.
I'm Gabe Amo, and I approve this message.
Hi, this is CJ and Beth with Moss Home Solutions, and we want to buy your house for cash.
Are you sick of your house falling down around you?
If you want a fair cash offer and a hassle-free sale,
call Moss Home Solutions today at 401-326-2626.
With so much at stake, more Americans turn to ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 newscast across all of television.
And ABC 6 News with Tiffany Murphy and John DeLuca, Southern New England's trusted news team.
In consumer news at 5, with days to go before the election, one of the biggest issues for voters, the economy, appears to be going strong. The Commerce Department reported a 2.8% jump for the third quarter's gross domestic product. That's slightly below the previous quarter's 3%, but still beating expectations. A number of analysts say the economy has finally reached what is known as a soft landing, where inflation is tamed without a recession.
Private sector hiring exceeded expectations this month. According to ADP's latest national employment report, private employers added 233,000 jobs in October. That is a sharp rise from the 159,000 reported last month. It's especially surprising given that job gains were expected to drop off in the month of October. The federal jobs report will come out on Friday.
And less than a year after their big debut, Starbucks is scrapping its controversial olive oil-infused drinks. The Oleato lineup will be dropped from the coffee giant's menu in the next few weeks. Now, according to one source, it's part of the chain's broader effort to simplify a menu that the new CEO, Brian Niccol, recently called overly complex. However, the source said the decision to dump the drinks was made before Niccol arrived. And just ahead on ABC 6 News at 5:30, we'll take a special look at a local nonprofit whose mission is literally for the birds.
And the latest effort lawyers for Jack Texeira are making as they ask a judge to give the former airman from Dighton a lighter sentence in his classified documents case. Those stories and much more coming up on ABC 6 News at 5:30. Before we get there, though, let's take a quick peek outside Skycam on this Wednesday afternoon. Spectacular Wednesday afternoon, showing us 95 southbound, a little bit heavier volume than we normally see at this time for folks going south there by Allens Ave. Same old, unfortunately, for the folks going 95 north heading over to 195 east. Just a slow trudge as they make their way towards Massachusetts. ABC 6 News at 5:30 is coming right back after a quick break.